So when I first got here, the first Sunday, and I was being introduced to everything, where is everything? Who are all the different groups that use this beautiful sanctuary? I saw part of Juliet's, most of Juliet's service, right? And she leads a temple here. I'll read you her bio. And it's extraordinary. We're so fortunate to have her here with us today, and that her group uses and shares our sanctuary in the afternoons, Sundays from 2 to 4. So you're invited to come to that today. But let me just read you some background. So even though I've had dinner with Rev Juliet and she's read my tea leaves, I didn't know all this great background until she sent me her bio. So Reverend Juliet Enoch was raised in a Christian home and involved in the church activity from a very young age. She was born and raised in a multicultural country in the Caribbean, which exposed her to a variety of forms of spiritual practice: Roman Catholicism, Protestantism, Baptist, Islam, spiritualism, Hinduism, and more. All those candles are just lit and beyond. She left her country of origin in her early 20s and moved here to Canada in order to pursue a theology degree, but had to soon leave the country and head to England for marital purposes. She got the call when she entered nursing school. On her return to Canada, she felt directed to become involved in the Pentecostal church in Verdun, Quebec, where she remained for many years. And I did hear stories about her experiences there. And then until she got the urge to go on a quest to embark on a search for something even deeper spiritually, being aware that life continues after the change called death, and spirit communication is possible. She could not accept anything less. She was led to a spiritual church in Montreal, where she studied for many years, already having the gift of prophecy, manifesting and being acknowledged in the Pentecostal setting. She learned mediumship in its many, many forms. And this was all aligned with her prophetic gift. She's since become the ordained minister in Montreal and is the president of the International Temple of Spiritual Revelations. That's the group that meets here on Sundays at 2. Reverend Juliet believes that life is spirit and spirit is life. I give you Reverend Juliet.
Thank you so much. It's good to be here.
Good to have you.
Thank you. You've heard me speak at this church, the home church before. Is everything okay?
I just want to bring you up a little better.
Okay, so I'd like to greet everyone here and everyone who is joining by Zoom. And I thought I'd offer you, I felt led to offer you names, the importance of names and titles, not only in the churches, but also your own names. And so what I'm sharing with you, I'd like you to bring that to today, bring it forward, play it forward to today, and your names, how they were chosen, and how important it is to take a bit more seriously when we are naming our children. We need really to go back to the ancient practices because they're so important. In ancient times, naming a person or an animal or a thing was no small matter. To name something is to know it, to have a relationship with it, to be able to reach out to it, to confer your blessing upon it, in naming a child, a living being, a tree, an animal. You know, we get cats and dogs and fish. Naming is giving a blessing. To name something is to know it inherently. One of the first things that happened after man was created, he was asked to name not one thing, but to name every animal, every bird of the air, fish of the sea. Think about that for a minute. When Adam was created, even before he had a partner, his job was to name every animal. Think about yourself. If you're asked, you see this animal walking in, you look at it, you don't even know, I wouldn't even know it's an animal. It's this thing. It walks. Don't forget, we didn't have vocabulary then. And here is our ancestor, and he's got to name a dog, a cat. Like, how do you come up with that word when there are no letters? So it's obvious that he, even before the animal was formed, something was happening even before he had physical being. He couldn't just name a cat, cat, or dog, a dog. Something happened before that. But we read in the Bible, you know, and Adam named all the animals, and the Most High was happy with him that he did that. And then the Most High said, well, you know, Adam, you don't have a spouse. I can go, now we've got to get you a spouse. And the last thing, before he was told to name an animal, the Most High said, oh, but Adam doesn't have a partner. And after he had done naming animals, the Most High said, we got to get you a partner, Adam. Read it, you'll see. I thought, oh, you know. Now let's think about something else here that is close to home. Our church, our building, is located on a Girard Street near Sherbrooke Street. Somebody had to name those streets. How did they name those streets? Because you see, as a result of the name that was given, if it is a man-made name, it cannot be in vibrational frequency with the higher plane. In order to name something, one has to go into a higher consciousness to receive that name and then bring it down to earth. Actually last night, I thought, oh, is there something? Someone sent me, and I wasn't speaking to the person. They don't know that I was going to be speaking about names, but the most I knew. And the person sent me and reminded me of something that I knew, that in the country, I think it's Namibia or one of those countries, even before the young woman got pregnant, she went into the forest and she waited. Her nurse, her baby-to-be's nurse, they went into the forest and they waited, took food and everything until they got what the child would be called. And they got it by song. It was something rhythmical. And when they got it, then they went back into the village. They told it, they taught it to other people, the name and the sound. And when she finally became pregnant, she would sing that song to the child with its name, even before she gave birth. And then the whole village had to learn that song. If the child got sick, the healing was in the song with the name. And I thought, yeah, oh yeah, I knew that many moons ago, but it was a good reminder about my speaking today. Now, you would notice that in the Bible, every verse is linked with another verse somewhere else, somewhere in another chapter, in another book, and everything is, there is this marriage that keeps going on. There's this dance in the word, that one thing is attached to another, is attached to another, is attached to another. So even in speaking to you about names and titles and how they were given, we've got to speak about angels a little. We got to speak about totems a little. And totems, not the way we've learned or heard. All right? But the true totem. Let's go to the book of Genesis here and speak a bit about Abraham. No, I'm not going to read that. Let's speak about basically Jacob, whose name was changed to Israel. Let's speak about the title given to Yahshua, the Lion of Judah. Let's speak a bit about those things. Even, yes, Abraham, his name was changed from Abram to Abraham. But with a name change or title change comes a change in the being of the whole being of the person. There's a vibrational frequency change that happens. Abram, his name meant the exalted father. And he had to build up a certain amount of faith in the invisible forces so that he became so dependent, so trusting on all the forces playing around his being, that when the time came, he was asked to offer his son. Here comes the totem. A ram appeared. And we know that the Most High would not ask him to sacrifice a son that he had given him. And here comes the play of totems in the Bible, in the ancient world. So what happened was he received his totem initiation. that brings us back to ourselves. You know, was it an accident that someone walked in here today with the manifestation, the physical manifestation of one of the totems that I would share? And what was that? A stone. After his initiation and he had a name change, he became not only Isaac's father, but the father of multitudes. Another name change was Sarai, who became Sarah. Her name, when her name was chosen, they could see, look, this child's going to be bitter, this child's going to be miserable, this child's going to be awkward, this child's going to be, they could see it. And when you heard of a person with a name like Sarai, you would know that this is the character of the person. It's like if I hear the name Kofi as Kofi Annan, if I met him for the first time walking down the street, hi, how are you? I'm fine. What's your name? Kofi. I know immediately he was born on a Saturday. I would look at the clothes he's wearing. I would know that he's supposed to wear that because he was born on a Saturday, because he's linked to a certain angel named so-and-so. You see, all of that goes into a name. We just look at people. You too were. I ate cheese this morning and I'm allergic to dairy, so my nose is twitching. So when you hear a name, it should give you the character of the person, the personality of the person. You know exactly who it is you're standing in front of. So her name was Sarai. You hear her, you meet her on the street. Hi, Sarai. Oh, dear God, here is Sarai. What am I going to do with this child? You know exactly. But what she went through transformed her so that her name had to be changed. She became a noble woman. She became a Sarah, actually. So this is what happened. Now, let's talk about Jacob, whose name was changed to Israel. When he came out of the womb, you know, he was a twin. When he came out of the womb, he was holding his brother's heel. They knew exactly what's going to happen between he and his brother, you know? They knew. So the soul in the being, in his being, had to face its limitations. Jacob represents the mental plane, while his brother, the physical, the earthly plane. He had 12 sons, and we're going to talk about those 12 sons. After his name was changed to Israel, this is really where totems are shown. Just before he closed his eyes to join his fathers, he called his children and he activated their totems. He told them what their totems would be, activated them, and then he closed his eyes and went to be with his fathers. He called Reuben. I want to read it for you. I really want to read it so you can. It's found in Genesis 49. It's found in Genesis 49. Verse 1. And Jacob called unto his sons, and he said, gather yourselves together, that I may tell you that which shall befall you in the last days. Gather yourselves together, sons of Jacob. Hearken unto Israel, your father. Reuben, you are my firstborn, my might, the beginning of my strength, the excellency of dignity, the excellence of power. Reuben, you are as unstable as water. Therefore, water he handed him as his totem. You shall not excel, because you went up to your father's bed. You defiled it. Simeon and Levi, your brothers, instruments of cruelty are in your habitations. Anyway, he goes on and he speaks about his honor. He says, cursed be your anger. It was fierce. It was cruel. Judah, you are he who your brethren shall praise. Your hand shall be in the neck of your enemies. Your father's children shall bow down before you. Judah is a lion's whelp. Yahshua is of the tribe of Judah. That was passed down to him. See, lineage. There's lineage spiritually also. Your hand shall be in the neck of your enemies. Your father's children shall bow down before you. He's the lion's whelp. He stoops down, he couches a lion, an old lion. Who shall raise him up? The scepter shall not depart from Judah. That's another totem. Nor lawgiver from between his feet until Shiloh comes. Shiloh means peace, the peacemaker. And unto him shall the gathering of the people be. And he goes on. Zebulun shall dwell at the haven of the sea. Water is his totem. And he shall be for an haven of ships. Issachar is a strong ass, a donkey. Dan shall be a judge. He shall judge his people. He's given him the, what the judges use. Yeah, anyway, read it for yourself, because it goes on, and it's really, really very interesting, So totemism isn't something new. And what we see today is the totems and all that. It's not really totem, as you're going to find out how a person really receives a totem. Benjamin, he received the totem of the wolf. Now let's speak a bit about the Lion of Judah. A change of name or title is usually conveyed through an angel, by an angel. And I'm pretty sure in my speaking here 2 or 3 years ago, I spoke to you about an angel. It's not really an angel as we think it's an angel. The word is really an ankel. All right? and it means authority, da, da, da. Anyway, it usually happens after a period of long fasting or after having overcome a challenge. Usually when you encounter that angel, they would ask your name, even though they know it. It happens to many people when they're asleep, and it's called lucid dreaming. You're awake in the dream, and you're aware that you're awake in the dream. Usually this sort of spiritual thing can happen. When the vision is over,
why don't you make a sample?
when you're awake from sleep, you will find that whatever happened with that angel manifests
I don't understand.
in your body, in your being. Are you with me? All right. So you're in a deep sleep, you've been fasting for, 25, 30 days. And I know for those of us who fast, by the time you're 10, 15 days, when you're walking, you're aware you're not walking you're walking on water per se. You're walking and you're aware, you're way up there. You're not touching, So this is when that sort of thing happens. And your angel will come to you and speak to you. And to those who have had encounters with angels, they're as tall, the head goes through the roof. And sometimes they give you, most times when there is a change, they would manifest something for you in the physical. You'd wake up and you'd see something, and it's from that angel. Anyway, many times it's a mark on your body. Think of Jacob. He slept on a stone. That's a key. The stone is his totem. And we receive stones today. Is it a message that stone is our totem? As a collective, as a group. So hold on to your stone. Look at that stone, look at it and look at it until you come to know it and why it came to you. Because it's not an accident that we receive these stones today. This is the work of spirit. So in the case of Yahshua, who was given the lion, the angel might have asked him his name or his favorite animal. When something like that is happening, like Jacob, he fought with the angel. And he said to the angel, I am not going to let you go without a blessing. And the angel realized, this man's got power. He's ready for a vibrational change. He's ready to enter into a higher dimension. And we all know what happened. The angel smote him. Then he started, when he got up, he started walking with a limp. Read it for yourselves. Very interesting. So that everyone knew he had had an encounter from on high. He was never the same. He could never walk the same. When the angel changed or gave the title to Yahshua of the Lion of Judah, that would come from an angel of fire. There are different types of angels. That would come from an angel of fire. So he would hit him somewhere, and the fire brought with it everything that a lion possesses. And that mark will not be a birthmark. It will be this thing. It could even be the shape of a lion until that person gives up that body, that mark remains. And he will be able to prove. Remember when they said he was going mad? He had the behavior of a lion. What does it say about his voice in Revelation? It's like a thunderous water. He had a growl. His behavior came that of a lion. It's not just he was given a title. It's just it. And so a physical mark would be left on the body, which could be seen outwardly. And that would be the exact spot where the spirit of the lion entered the body. You can't just be the lion of the tribe of Judah. The lion spirit has got to enter you. It's got to change you. Have you ever seen a lion running after its prey? That's what I'm talking about. He was no longer, he was Yahshua, yes, and had power, yes.
He's all over the place.
After that visitation, he was no longer the little man. He was never a little man. You understand what I mean? He was the lion in every sense of the word. That's what's meant. Whenever you hear people singing about the Lion of Judah, understand what happened that made him the Lion of Judah. So the lion was burnt into him. And so it would have left a mark. Once, if you're asleep when it happens, once the initiation is over, you begin to portray all the characteristics of your totem animal in your daily life, to the point where if I had had that encounter and the lion totem was given to me and it was activated, I would be standing here. You'd be sitting there and you'd say, how come she looks like a lion? How come she's roaring? No wonder they were afraid of him. He roared because he had been initiated. And that angel that passed it on to him came from the lion lineage. Passed down, passed down, passed down, you see. And it is after you've had this totem given to you that your ministry changes and it takes on a greater power. Your career path becomes very evident. Your power is evident. The angel would give you his name and a way to contact him. Remember what Yahshua said? He said, I have thousands of angels I can call at any time. Of course he had thousands of angels, because that came with the change. You're given a barrage of angels and you're given a way to contact them for whatever it is. And like I said, we are here on Girard Avenue, somebody gave it the name. Had it been a name from on high, no accident could happen on Girard. No house could burn down on Girard Avenue. No person could be you couldn't be attacked, because the angel that gave that name is looking over it. 2 weekends ago, or was it last weekend? 2 weekends ago, my daughter went to Atlanta. She started celebrating her birthday from the week before. She called me from the airport. And she said, everything's done. I'm getting ready to go on the plane. Usually, if she's going on a long drive, I'd say to her, did you ask the angel of Point Claire or Toronto? Did you ask your angel to contact the angel in charge of Toronto so that when you cross the line and you get into Toronto, you have a whole set of angels looking after you until you come back and cross the line into Quebec? I'd remind her anyway. So she texts me and she says, well, we're getting ready to go on the plane now. So I text her back. I said, well, I'm sure you have already discussed with your angel that you're going to Atlanta, some theater show. Anyway, with such and such a person, and you would like your angel to ask, you know, the angel in charge of Atlanta is in Georgia, is it? Of Georgia, for protection while you are there. He said, oops, mommy, I forgot, thank you. So I texted her back, I said, okay, get on the plane and sit quietly, and before takeoff, you just commune with your angel and thank him for all the protection here. And to consult with the angel in charge of Georgia to give you a safe passage, because you're not going there to do anything wrong. You know, you're just celebrating your birthday with a friend. And so she remembers, and remember when you come back, remember to thank that angel. Mm-hmm. Because if you're going to someone's house, you don't just show up. Hi, I'm here for supper. You let the person know that you're coming, and so they prepare and have the house ready for you. And in the same manner, there are angels in charge of certain places. And that's why it is so important that we go and get names. When I'm doing we don't do christenings and baptisms. When I'm doing a naming ceremony, the minute the parent asks me to do this for the child, I let them know. You cannot give me the name that you want for the child. I have to spend time quietly, I have to go into meditation and ask for a name for that child, because that name is going to guide that child. It's important. And that's why I say, you know, we're naming rivers, we're naming oceans. Are they the spiritual names? Or are they just man-made names? St. Lawrence River could be a dead river. And it takes people who have become enlightened, all of that, to go down to that river. Sometimes with a bell, and wake the river up. Remember Jesus telling the lady at the well? He gave her her totem, water. But he said to her, the water here is dead. I can make it come alive. He knew it was dead water. So it is only after your totem animal has entered you, something else happens. The heavens can open up for you. And when I say open up, I mean open up. You have an open entrance, and not for you, just for you. The heavens opened up for him. That's scripture. And you can see, and those around you can see. And that is why when things happen to him, all the disciples can now witness it, because they were there and they saw it, because he had his totem animal activated. He had power to open the heavens. And that's not just for him, for us also. You will have thousands of angels assigned to you. Some people work with fire angels, some with water angels, some with wind angels, some with tree angels. We're here opposite a big park. Where's the park? Over there? Over there. There are large trees. Do you know, are you aware that angels live in those trees? Are you aware that that tree itself is the Most High Yah manifesting on earth in the form of a tree? That is why the scripture says the leaves of the trees are for the healing of the nation. That's why you can pick out mango trees, orange trees. You can pick the leaves and use it for healing, because it is Yah himself in the form of the tree. That is why we have to be so careful with our trees. The lesser angels live in those trees. It's nothing like, oh, I'm standing under a tree. There's no such thing as that. You are standing and you are touching God himself. And the angels live in those trees and they protect you. The Most High Yah, he reflects, he relates to everything around us. I've got a question for you. Can you be married to an angel?
Yes.
Who said yes? You're correct, eh? You know something, we got to talk, eh? Yes, an angel can marry you spiritually. Once the angel gives you your totem and activates it, marriage has taken place spiritually. And so you treat that angel as you would treat a dearly beloved. And that angel treats you as the apple of his eye, surrounds you and protects you. You go to your angel, dearly beloved, so and so and so and so, I would like to do. I would like to marry so and so. Is it okay? No, it's not. And you got to believe your angel. You got to listen to whatever that angel said, because he's your spiritual counterpart now. And as I said before, there are angels who are assigned to different cities, different states, different countries. Did you notice you're asked to pay allegiance to the flag? Did you notice, let's say, the United States flag, the eagle, totem? Canada, the beaver, totem. And you are asked to pay allegiance to those flags. Anyone who does not live spiritually will not see, will not experience the power of the Most High Yah and his angelic helpers. Never believe that life is flesh. It is not. Life is spirit, and spirit is life. I hope that offering has opened you up a tiny bit more, and that you would pay more attention to the things that you do, to whatever you come across, to every area, every part of your environment, spiritually and physically, because as above, so below.
Thank you, thank you. Thank you. Wow. And yeah, wow, there was a lot. Angels are true. Yeah, we knew that, right? Yes, yes,
Can I share something?
yes, Victoria.
When I was driving down the street